Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Today, this edition is Better Thyself segment, which we are talking about. I have recently evolved a new theory, and this theory is connected with leading an optimal life. I normally term it six spokes theory. This six spokes theory is basically enabling you to be a better self, better in the sense that you are able to live a more harmonized life. Imagine your life like a wheel with six spokes, a wheel that will keep moving. If one of the spokes is functioning or not functioning, it will stop. But if the multiple spokes are not working, the wheel would collapse. So, out of the six spokes, one spoke can always be impaired without affecting the optimal working. But to be have an absolutely optimum happiness, you need to have all these six spokes working properly. And to live an optimal life, you need to make sure that all your spokes are tight. Have you ever cycled? If the spokes are loose, the cycle starts wobbling. This is a lesson I learned when I started learning cycling way back when I was a 7-year-old kid. With a functional wheel where all the spokes are tight, you are able to move forward smoothly. And if they are not tight, you might risk a bump in the wheel, which will make it very hard to move. And ultimately, even the wheel would go out of shape, needing it to be realigned. For most of us, this is six spokes theory is the best way to look at life. Naturally, you'll be thinking what these spokes are. They're nothing out of the ordinary. They are not out of the space. They are not from an outside agency. They are what you feel every day, what you know it every day, but then you do not put them in the perspective they should be. So these six spokes which keep the life running around, going ahead with optimal speed, with optimal results. And the spokes are first is the body, the condition of your body, including your diet, your stamina, your strength, your recovery, is extremely important. Second spoke, mind, your ability to focus, your ability to rest, and most important, your ability to acquire knowledge. Third spoke, your love, your relationship with your family, with your friends, kids, with your life partner, everywhere, the social life. The fourth scope, which people always give maximum emphasis, but that's not required. Work, how much inner satisfaction and financial reward you are receiving from your career. Are you really emotionally satisfied? Are you just plodding along? These are the questions. Fifth spoke, which all these so-called spiritualists negate, money. How much money you have? Do you need more? Do you need less? Do you crave for it? You have a sweet craving? And the sixth is play. Not necessarily on the field, but how well you are able to entertain yourself. It can be by watching a movie, it can be by reading a book, it can be by anything. But the self entertainment, you can go to a movie, you can go to a shopping mall. So, unlike other life theories, This theory is not about becoming successful. Let me be very clear. This is for being a better human being. And six spokes theory is basically about living a balanced life leading to optimal results. That's the most important thing. It's not about becoming the best in the world. No way. It's also not about sacrificing certain areas in life that you can be successful in your career. So if you're thinking that's going to help you shoot up like a spacecraft, no, it's not VTO, vertical takeoff and landing, no way. But this will make you feel much better as a human being. Your relationship would increase, your satisfaction level would increase. And that's what's most important. So the question arises how to apply six spokes theory to your daily life. How can you apply it to live better? One thing you would notice is that every spoke is equally important for a wheel, as I said earlier. We cannot say that our work is more important than our body. We cannot say that money is the most important thing in life. We cannot say that mind is the only thing. It is most one of the most important things, but the six are equally important. So if you neglect your body, what would happen? Your work would suffer, your love would suffer, your mind would suffer. Healthy mind and a healthy body. And if you are not working, your money would suffer, and you would not be able to entertain yourself. So body is naturally important, but is it the only important thing? No. As a matter of fact, everything in life is connected. There's interconnectivity for everything. So if you ignore one at the cost of the other, which most of the people do, then you are having a life which is not balanced. Neglecting one area in your life, one spoke in your life, you will somehow get punished in the long run. You may feel much better buying the latest car, buying a huge bungalow, having a helicopter, having a yacht, but one day you will regret it. And that's why I find the analogy to the wheel much more important. Because wheel is turning and going forward, and that's your life changing, going forward, never stopping. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, my primary mode of transportation was a bicycle. And whenever I found that the spoke was missing, it would start wobbling. I would continue cycling, but it was risky. And so now, when I thought, why? Why can't we have the same values in our life? I remember if I didn't hit a bump in the road, everything was fine. But once I remember having was broken one spoke, I didn't care. Then a few others that were not tied. So I tried to cycle up to the sidewalk. And as soon as my wheel hit the curb, it dented and the wheel collapsed. The bike became useless. I had to spend a lot to get the wheel realigned. So the same idea works for the six spokes theory. Let's say you neglect your body spoke and don't work out. You'll be fine for a while, but keep on neglecting for a long time, and life will serve you with a bill in the form of injury, illness, exhaustion, and feeling sick all the time. Second, balance your energy, not your time. People say, well, we don't have the time because they are not balanced. They are trying to balance the time, what time to wake up, the clockwork. No, balance your energy. The biggest challenge to living an optimal life is how much time you spend on all areas of life, on all the six spokes. Conventional thinking says, I need all my time to everything equally. I need to allocate it, but do we do it? You see, this is impossible. Let's be very realistic. Though all these spokes are important, but you cannot give all equal time to each spoke. You have to give equitable time. So you have to balance your energies. Otherwise, what will happen? You will have frustration and inner conflict will become a problem. So by its nature, work takes up the majority of our time. Because if you're not working, if your work is not satisfactory, and the work affects not only when you're working for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever time you are, it affects afterwards as well. If you're exhausted, your love life would suffer, your family relations would suffer. You will be strangers though living together. So this takes the majority of the time. And if you look at the six spokes theory from that perspective, you should say that some spokes are more important than others. That's not. Remember that some spokes need more tightening than the others. The idea is for you to ensure that your energy level is maintained balance. It's foolish to say that work is more important than relationship. Everything matters. One way of thinking about the balance is that you want to spend more the same amount of energy on every area. It's not the same time on every area. 24 hours you have. So if you spend the same energy in every area, it's okay. Imagine you have 6 blocks of energy for 6 spokes. You need to spend the energy during 18 hours that you are awake. Most of the people are awake, I assume, for 18 hours. But let's say you need to work for 8 hours. So you will be careful how you spend your energy during those 8 hours. This is important. You cannot go full throttle. Work slowly. It's just like the heart rate running. Have you ever tried that? The idea is that you can go much longer if you train at 70% of your maximum heart rate. But if you are maybe able to run for 2 hours at 70%, but if you are running at 90% of your energy, you can possibly run for 20 minutes. That's it, not 2 hours. If you go still faster, you don't go far enough. Each of you is not Bolt. Let's be very clear. This is one of the biggest contradictions in life. And that's why we struggle with it so much. Most of us consume energy that's meant for another area in our life. We let do it. We let the work take precedence. Or we let the money take the precedence, which is still worse. And when you do that, you are riding a bike that's missing a spoke. It might work, and it would work, but it's risky. So when you're using your energy for work, you might have no energy left to work on your mind or on your body or how to entertain yourself playing. Remember, if you only get frustrated, it's because you're not balancing your energy, you're balancing your time, and that's not possible. As I said, you cannot give the same time to your body, mind, love, work, money, and play. You cannot afford to ignore these areas either. So energy should be equitable divided, looking at it that you can maintain the balance. You cannot have one spoke too tight, the other loose. So ignoring any area can be harmful. Then, let's say, I would compare 6 spokes energy to the smart energy consumption. The theory will not work if you spend energy on negativity and useless activities. So you have got to be thoughtful all the time. When I spend time with the people I love, I give them full attention at that time. Sport, and the result is that I don't focus on the quantity since you can't love everyone. Let me be very frank with you. I cannot love everyone. You cannot love everyone. So I don't focus on the quantity. It's not the number of the people, but it's the quality of the people. And being kind doesn't mean that you swallow your words. You need to be honest as well. Honesty, as I said earlier in a couple of my comments, you need to be authentic. You cannot be preoccupied with work or other things in life when you're talking to other people. And you need to be in a good place yourself so that you are able to support others. Money. Every day, I consciously try to treat my money with respect. I don't squander it. And I don't dream of it having more of it. No. I have what I have. And even then, you might thinking that since I'm not earning. No. When I was a CEO, when I was a business consultant, even at that time, I never bothered about having more money. I was earning, but there was no craze. I see money as a tool, not as an end in itself. When I used to see someone driving a fancy car, I wanted to have it, but then I thought, okay, I want to make more money, but not at the cost of other factors of life. Every day sharp at 5:30 when the office closed, I'll drive back home. No way. And I refuse to have business meetings on Saturdays and Sundays. No way. Weekends are my family day. I was very clear, and the people knew it. During the working hours, right at 9 o'clock, I'm in the office. Right at 5:30, I'm out of the office. Come what may. Rarely you might have to do it, but not always. So you have got to realize that everything comes at a price. Are you willing to give the price for maintaining one spoke and neglecting the others? I'm not willing to sacrifice my other spokes so that I can be successful, as the people say, having more money. I don't have any desire to be Bill Gates or Ambani or anybody else. I'd rather be myself than play. I like having fun, but my ways are different. I enjoy watching plays, drama. I like reading books. At one time, I loved having archery. When I was young, riding was one of my passions. Someday, I may not do that much work at the same time, but it's not about time, it's the effect that has on me. If I, yeah, for example, last night I read about 20 pages, again from Khalil Gibran. Wow, the way it changed my and refreshed me again. I was amazed. Not that I have read him for the first time. I keep the complete works of Khalil, along with the works on my bedside all the time. So I don't need anyone else to entertain me. There are thousands of things I can do on my own that give me joy. I and my wife sit together and she fixes a jigsaw puzzle and I look at them. She plays memory games and I look at them and enjoy the same. Then we'll watch plays. But what, can you do it forever? No. I was a spokes in my wheel as well. And I try to ensure that all the spokes are tight. So, six spokes theory shows that you cannot neglect important areas of life if you want to live optimally. This requires making tough choices. While you cannot neglect any area of life, you cannot do everything you want at the same time. So, there are constraints on the energy, and that has an impact on your life and work. So, this theory, if you adopt, giving attention to all the six spokes, balancing your energy, you would find that you are leading a life which is optimal, a life full of six functional spokes, a life that makes you a better human being, a life that would ensure that you have happiness when you want it, that there is no contamination in your life. And that's what you want. Thank you.